Friday morning. Here's the registration line that I'm about to pass. And then it wraps around back there and it just goes on for a while. Those are the people who didn't get here on Thursday. But we're heading for the proper entrance, which should be wide open right now. It's about 9 a.m. People walking around, cosplayers everywhere. I've decided I'm going to try to keep a Kirito counter. I'm going to count how many Kiritos I find. So far I've seen 3, 2 in my hotel alone. So let's see how many Kiritos we find at this convention. Kirito counter number 4. Also an Asuna with me.
This is their new coach,
So as I tend to do when I show up at this convention center, I walked all the way across the whole thing and checked in on the 2 panel rooms that seemed most interesting to me, but they both seemed kind of boring, so I just skated on out of them. See, every other year I make the mistake of constantly going from panel to panel and just looking at like whatever panel interests me at the time, but I end up in a lot of boring ones, and I end up not doing a lot of the other stuff that you can do both at this con and around town. So this convention, my goal is to not sit in on any boring panels, to be active and find my own fun. So let's try that.
Yeah? Are you Digi bro?
I am Digi bro.
Dude, can I like give you a hug?
Sure.
Dude. And can I take a picture with you?
Sure, you want to be in my vlog?
Yeah, I want to be in your vlog. Wow, I'm like, this is like the biggest guest meeting this weekend for me. Hey guys, this is Digi bro. You're watching this channel right now.
Well, what's your name?
My name's Ryan. You know, I came here from Jersey. I knew he was going to be here, so I was hoping maybe I could see him. And luckily, in the first 20 minutes, I saw him.
Did not take long.
Yeah, man. Wow. Dude, it is an honor to meet you. I love all your videos.
Thank you.
Can I take a picture with you?
Sure, yeah. I popped into this shitty little mall in the vain hopes that there would be a breakfast place open here, but also I just kind of wanted to escape the heat. I know I said it was hot yesterday. Today, it is a different level. I can't even see out there. The sun is so bright. As soon as I left the convention center, I was like, why do I need breakfast? I don't need to eat. I don't need to be outside. There's no reason to be out here. This is madness. Wasn't sure anywhere would be open for breakfast. There was a Chick-fil-A. I went in there and the line was coming out the door. So I gave up on that pretty quickly. I don't even really like Chick-fil-A. And then just a block over is this place called Corner Bakery Cafe. That looks pretty good. And I'm like, why isn't anyone coming here? This place is practically empty when Chick-fil-A over there was packed. People don't explore beyond what they already know. This place right here, pretty good. Okay, I think this might be Kirito number 6 coming up ahead, but he could be one of the Kiritos who was in my hotel, because it looks like he's coming from that direction. So hopefully I can get close enough before he crosses. No, it's a white guy. The ones in the hotel were both Asian guys, so that's definitely Kirito number 6 right there. So we're packing up to take off from this hotel room because we were uncomfortable with the number of Kirito cosplayers that we've seen since being here. So we thought it might be better to go to a different hotel. It's a little further away from the convention, a lot further away, but it's worth it to not be surrounded by so many damn Kiritos all the time. Oh my god, that Garchomp.
Guys, hold on to drink the water.
That Garchomp though. I don't know. I guess you would have to say Katsura janai Zurada. I don't know if he says that in the episode, but it seems, seems likely.
He says like Katsura janai. Katsu rap, yo.
That's fantastic. Okay, so it's like 8 o'clock. I'm chilling in the hotel room right now, about to edit this vlog and then go to bed early. Trying to vlog during Otakon is a pain in the ass, especially when I'm trying to, like, explain what's happening. It's easy enough to point and shoot and take video of stuff, but it's hard to, like, find the chance to just sit there and hold a camera in front of me and explain something when there's people everywhere and it's loud continuously. So I'm just going to describe everything I did today, and then I'm going to insert clips of this explanation into the ongoing vlog and just sort of cut between them, I guess. By the time I'd gotten back from breakfast and we got to the hotel and we were going to switch hotels, I had already done a considerable amount of walking, and I realized that I was even more exhausted than I first thought. I had gotten barely any sleep the night before, and barely any sleep the night before that, so I was pretty fucking wrecked. But the thing is, there was, like, nothing today I really wanted to see anyways, so I kinda just took it as a chance to laze around. The first panel I went to was about kimonos as costumes, and it was pretty good.
And also, she doesn't use social tactics at all. She's a lot more direct. She uses physical violence and aggression very often when she has something to prove. In fact, in the very first scene of the film, we see her going over to another courtesan and kicking her and then attacking her because of one disparaging remark.
It was an interesting subject that I didn't know anything about, and now I know a lot about it. So if I looked at a kimono being worn in an anime, I could probably tell A, how much effort was put into replicating history, and B, what time period it came from, which I find to be a fun thing to now know. It was definitely hard to stay awake through, though. Once that was over, I went down to the dealer's room and just wandered around. Just like with the rest of the halls, it was easier at the time that I did it because the dealer's room had only been open for about 30 minutes. It got pretty fucking slammed later. I wandered around the dealer's room for almost 2 hours, and I did not find anything I really wanted to buy. There were a couple things I came close to. One was a Sakamoto poster, which I might go back for, and one was the shirt that the main character from Food Wars wears, his like restaurant shirt. I really like those sort of low-key otaku shirts where it's like a reference to something, but it looks like it could just be like an actual business shirt. That is the first Bakuan cosplay I've seen. After that, I saw the premiere of Under the Dog, and that was a pretty big disappointment. Taken as just the first episode of a TV show, which is what they kind of presented it as, it's not, like, terrible. The dialogue is trite as fuck. Like, I really found the dialogue annoying. The characters all seemed pretty annoying, though most of them didn't seem like they'd be consequential in the long run if this was an ongoing series. But it just, the overall style of writing was very and the animation was great. The character designs didn't look nearly as good as they did in the promotional material. They looked okay. You know, there were some well-choreographed fight scenes courtesy of Masahiro Ando, which is the main reason I was excited about this, is that he was directing it. But the biggest letdown is simply that it doesn't even remotely have the tone of what they showed when they were first advertising this thing for the Kickstarter. Everything they showed before had this, like, cyberpunk, dystopian, dark feeling. It was all very darkly colored. There was motorcycles, girls with guns. The main character in all their advertising was this white-haired girl who doesn't even show up till the end of this OVA episode and has maybe 2 lines of dialogue, comes off as just kind of an annoying character, and at one point she's getting shot with all these bullets, and, like, she gets shot just enough times that it takes off part of her shirt and her boob just kind of flops out, and the bullets just stop. Like, there's enough time just for the boob to kind of bounce, and the only reason, like, it looked really weird because, like, the amount of outfit it destroyed was bizarre, and it looked like they just wanted to say, we can put boobs in there. Like, yeah, boob, you know, like, when was the last time you saw a good old-fashioned boob in an action show? It was really weird that they threw that in there. The whole thing was weird. It was... The action was fine, but, like, the blood effects looked fucking terrible and goofy. And just, generally, the tone of it was... Ugh. Like, it first of all took place in a high school. Now, mind you, they thoroughly destroy the high school, which felt like maybe some kind of meta thing. But this really felt like compromise. Like, what they talked about when they first announced this was that they wanted to make something that was like Ghost in the Shell or Akira, some kind of cyberpunk setting, and they were doing it because they couldn't, like, no one would back that kind of show these days. But what they ended up making felt extremely modern. It was like a high school girl assassin. You know, all of it took place in a high school, and it was like it just felt like a bunch of cute girls with guns kind of show that we could still easily get today. I don't even feel like this is something that we're not getting enough of. It was like, this is exactly what I'd expect. If this came on in a new season, nothing about it would scream refreshing, you know, or not likely to get aired. So what that says to me is, once they had the money, they wanted to make, you know, they wanted to get it greenlit for a TV show. And somewhere in all that managerial shuffle that went on, they compromised and made the show more sellable. That's really what it felt like. And as a result, it was nothing like what was promised. It was just pretty weak. And I feel, you know, I don't feel too bad. I put in $3 for it myself on the Kickstarter. I'm not going to say it wasn't worth $3, because what are $3 worth? But, like, I didn't get what I hoped it would be, you know, and I did advertise it pretty heavily, that Kickstarter, albeit, you know, my biggest video on my channel has a huge advertisement for that Kickstarter in it, but when that video was released, there was only like 3 weeks left in the Kickstarter, so it wasn't like it, you know, like 1 million people saw that ad and were able to put money into it. It's more like 70,000, the first 70,000 views or so. Either way, I feel like I, you know, was a part of this thing from when it started, and as a result, I just feel all the more let down in what was just a mediocre first episode of a show that in no way met the expectations of what they promised. So after that, I left before the Q&A even started, and I was so tired at that point, I just wanted to find somewhere to pass out. So I went and sat in on the panel, Greatest Forgotten Anime OPs, which turns out it was being done by Anime World Order. Those guys always put on great panels and random stuff. This was just like a stream of OPs. But it was at this panel that I realized, and I mean, I've known this for a while now, but I am kind of out of my depth at Otakon, or I guess beyond my depth at Otakon, where most of the panels there are teaching stuff I already know. Like, I knew most of these forgotten OPs. And these are not, I'm not to say that they were not making great choices. It's just that I know everything, you know. There was like a Butch Gen panel, and I was like, I'm not going to go to that because I already know everything about Butch Gen. You know, what are they going to tell me that I don't know? Shade went to that and said it was terrible anyways. But just in general, like, it's hard for me to find something that I couldn't already run the panel on myself, you know. So I tried to get to sleep in there, couldn't really pass out. Then I went to the PA Works Industry panel, which, you know, is like the only Japanese guest I'm excited about because Masao Maruyama had canceled. It was pretty boring. They were mostly just like describing their shows a lot. Like it was like if you already knew everything about PA Works, once again, there was no point to go there. I felt like out of my depth. And I actually passed out for like 40 minutes of the panel. And I woke up as soon as they finally started talking about Shirobako. Because at the beginning, they like purposefully didn't even mention Shirobako. Because like I guess they wanted to talk about it at the end. So like I passed out until Shirobako was finally mentioned. And the producer said some somewhat interesting stuff about it. But like, you know, nothing too special. And then I went to the artist alley to check out the PA Works exhibit that they've been bringing around to conventions, which was pretty cool. They had a bunch of like original like Genga illustrations from Shirobako. They had the horse scene and shit. I'll put a bunch of clips in.
You should be lucky I like you, dude.
Thank you.
Do I know PA Works? Yes. PA Works title, Shirobako. Then I wandered around the artist alley for a while, and once again, didn't really find anything I particularly wanted except this t-shirt, which I bought, which has little of anything to do with anime, but I thought it was cool. It says, all those moments will be lost in time like tears in rain on these signs beside this girl. I don't know why it says that, but it's pretty cool. Blade Runner reference. And then after I got out of the artist alley, I just kind of went to Kona Grill and had these fucking... Now this looks promising. This is the best fucking flatbread in human history. Everyone should eat at Kona Grill all the time, forever. They're great. I love them. Come here, not turn it on. So Kona Grill, highly recommended. Food amazing, drink great, service on point. 10 out of 10. Definitely one of my favorite restaurants to go to during the convention season. Now let me show you some crazy stuff happening right outside. This is all stuff from Akiba. Tons of Madogatari stuff. Being sold on the street out of a suitcase. Cash only. For obvious reasons. So I'm thinking about going to bed early because the way my Fridays tend to go at conventions is that you know, I have difficulty sleeping as it is. So on Wednesday nights, I'm usually, you know, on a fucked up sleep schedule, and I'm excited, so I can't get to sleep. So on Thursday, we drive up here, and I never manage to fall asleep in the car or at any reasonable hour during the day. And then when I finally go to sleep, I am reminded that Dansan's snoring is impossible to sleep through. So I end up not sleeping much at all, as is the case today. What that results in is just being grumpy all day and not really enthusiastic about any of the stuff I'm doing. And also just remembering that conventions aren't really that exciting. There's nothing like mind-blowing that happens after you've been to a couple of them. Like there's nothing here that I haven't seen 6 times before. So, you know, I'm just so used to it that it's hard to get excited about anything. Now usually Saturday goes a little better because by the end of Friday night I'm so fucking exhausted that there's just no way I could keep myself from sleeping decently for once. So I'm gonna try and get to bed before Dansan passes out so that I don't have to listen to him fucking snore when I try to sleep. Because my god, it was a nightmare trying to escape that. Apparently I used up like $45 worth of extra bandwidth on my phone without realizing it. Because I was listening to YouTube videos on the data plan while going to bed to drown out the snoring. And it kept giving me text messages and I wasn't reading them. But they were like, "You've exceeded your data plan for the month. We just charged $15 and gave you an extra gig. Have fun." And of course I see all those the next day and I'm like, okay. So that's fun. And then I went back to the hotel to chill out. And that's about it. That's what I've done. I'm now going to go to bed early to beat Dansan to the punch. Peace out.